September 2020 video horoscopes for the 12 signs. I'm Lada from astrolada.com. Welcome to the craziest year and one of the tougher months. September, October, November, guys, months we're not gonna forget. And months of big spiritual growth. That's what we say to make you feel good. But indeed, you will see months where Saturn and Mars are square all the time. Mars is going retrograde this month, which means that some great feat of willpower will be required from us, and some great use of willpower, but we'll eventually will be able to achieve something tremendous by November, December, that we'll be so proud of. So we'll speak about each of the 12 signs, how Mars retrograde affects us. But just to let you know, me and Brian are making a fantastic webinar this September, in the middle of September. It's called speed reading the birth chart. So basically what it means to have the sun, moon, ascendant in different signs, how to tie them together, how to interpret the chart, what it means for you. And it's from the point of evolutionary astrology. I'm very excited about this webinar. Last webinar Brian did had 300 or 400 people, so, and it's 30% discounted. Come and join us to see how to quickly read the birth chart and what it means. It's for beginners, even for advanced or beginners. You don't need to know much astrology to understand it. Thank you so much. Let's start with the signs. Libra rising, sun or moon, September 2020. Mars is gonna become retrograde in your 7th house of relationships, and for 2 months this will be a more sensitive area for you. So the whole September, Mars becomes retrograde on the 9th, but you'd feel it even from the beginning of September, especially the later born Libras that are born in October, you know, like the 17, 18, 19, 20, 21st, 22nd, you know, or if you're rising or moon, are in the last 5 degrees of Libra, basically from 25 to 30 degrees. But all Libras can. Okay, let's start with the more negative things that can happen. Some crisis in relationship can happen around the retrograde period. Say your partner might be going through some crisis, some difficult event, or through some very hectic event, more stressful event that can affect you as well in some way. Or if you're in relationship that is not equal, that is not fair, definitely you can start rebelling against that, and you can say enough is enough. Or a partner might suddenly start changing, and this can put, again, some kind of the need to reevaluate a relationship, the need to, it can even start some battle or fight. You can be challenged by another person. It's not always necessarily your husband or your wife or boyfriend, girlfriend. It can be a client that can become difficult, or it can be a business partner or someone that you're collaborating with on some project that can act out, or that you can start some competition or power struggle there. Some fighting, for example, can happen. I remember I had Mars retrograde years ago in my 7th house, and especially when it started retrograding, me and my partner were fighting more, and we had to talk long about how to solve that, and we solved it, and we carried on being together. But it was a more stressful period during that time. We had to kind of find alternative ways of and address our needs in the relationships as well. And everyone was fighting for what their needs were. So that's another thing. And I would advise you, when Mars is going retrograde in the 7th house, don't start a war with someone, because according to an ancient rule in astrology, whoever starts the war during retrograde period is the one who can lose it. So don't start some court case towards someone, for example, or don't start fighting with you attacking someone, because that can have quite lasting stressful effects, to be honest. But if someone else attacks you, and if someone else starts fighting with you, of course you have to stand up for yourself. But the best strategy is to approach the whole subject in a less direct manner, because a retrograde planet in ancient astrology is called vakri, which means skewed or indirect or ambiguous, or basically more strategic way. Retrograde Mars is kind of like, I feel it acting more like Mars in Scorpio, so take strategic steps rather than charge on, full on fight. You know, that's what's going to create problems. Instead of reacting immediately to an angry client or someone who is challenging you, someone who's fighting with you or your partner, instead of reacting to them, take a deep breath. Doesn't mean introvert and don't direct this issue. Doesn't mean internalize and, you know, hurting your own self this way and put blinders and blinkers. No, you cannot. If there is an issue in a relationship, it will have to be addressed while Mars is retrograde. But it will have to do, you have to do it in a more strategic matter, again, as I said. And if you're not in the right relationship, oftentimes Mars retrograde brings so much intolerance and lack of cooperation that it can be time to burn bridges with people, with certain clients or with certain partners. Well, if it's not the right one, that can end, and or business partnership as well. So you know, the relationships that stay in your life, they'll be just strengthened, and you learn how to assert yourself in a better way there, how to have a more proactive relationship together. But relationships that are not the right ones, and I'm not talking only personal, they can be business or client or whatever, they can end. And it is what it is. Sometimes we need to end some. And I advise you, if it's time to end certain relationship, don't do it in a way that creates more karma for you. Don't do it in an angry way by hurting the other person with words. Uh, do it in a way that uh, can closes that door, but in a forgiving way, um, in a way that, so it doesn't basically mean that in a next lifetime you're going to attract the same person and have the same issue, you know, as well. So kind of a cleanup can be happening in your relationships. Or another way it can play out is that your partner might be very busy, or your partner might be going through some more challenging times where they have deadlines or some stresses, in extreme cases some health issues as well. And that's why it doesn't mean you'll be fighting or anything. It means that, you know, they're going through something. Another way it can play out is that you're working with someone on some project, say some collaboration, for example, and it might require 3 times more efforts, because a retrograde planet Mars in particular requires 3 times more exertion and use of willpower to complete some project or to fix or improve some project with someone else that you're doing. It's not an independent project. It involves somehow, there is another person that might be involved there. So you need to work extra hard with more efforts, more strategically, again, as I said. And by the end of this period, you can have a even 3 times more strong and powerful relationship with someone, bond with someone, business partnership with someone, or project that you've completed with someone. But you'll see the results only towards December. And basically, if your partner is going a bit, like my husband is Libra rising, Mars will be over his ascendant 3 times, over his 7th house 3 times. So I'll be probably super busy, maybe having some challenges, you never know. So things will relax with your partner from the middle of November, December onward. So you have to, if you can be more allowing for your partners rather than combative with them, and try not to start the war first, so to speak. But just be aware that those energies are there. We have free will how to react to the energies. We can make a mess of it, or we can ask God to ask when a stressful situation happens. This is what I do, and this is what has helped me so much when there is a stressful situation, and I'm like, oh, I just want to burn all bridges. I just want to go all out. I stop for a second and ask God for counsel, for advice. So this retrograde motion asks you to stop yourself for a little bit, calm you down, and ask from an alternative perspective, from a different perspective. This is what a retrograde planet can give you, an alternative perspective in regards to certain matter involved in another person or some challenge that's happening. And I usually then react more strategically, and we sort things out and things go much better. um, Okay, also it might be some contract or agreement that gets delayed when Mars gets retrograde or gets complicated, needs like a lot of negotiation and re-agreements and going over it again and again. Like it requires 3 times more exertion, might not happen as fast as you want, but Mars gives you the willpower to persevere. Mars gives you also the ability to assert yourself in a more strategic matter when it comes to others, and to as long as you don't put your partner to feel like they're, in the corner, because they can lash out. So yeah, you can achieve some feat of willpower together with a partner of yours, business, personal, or whatever. Okay. And you're receiving some help though, because Venus is going to be in your 11th house, making a trine for most of September to the 7th house. So how can you diffuse some of the tension, some of the stresses? Well, through 11th house activities. And that means maybe go to a social outing together, maybe talk to friends. Maybe you have you might be able, while things are testing with a partner of some sort, you might have a release by having an online group of support, or friends that you're chatting daily on, or friends that you see, or some, nowadays, I don't know how many people can meet others, but definitely some person, some friendships that are supportive. And also working to a mutual goal together. The Venus is also rules relationships generally, being the 11th house of goals and dreams. So if you keep at the forefront of your mind some goal that you're trying, some mutual future goal that you have with this partner, this can help you overcome the most stressful periods there. And okay, and also gains and earnings. Venus in the 11th house can make you more gainful this month as well. That's another thing. And what else is happening? Saturn is being stationary. It's basically stuck at the same degree the whole month in your 4th house. So you might feel like matters regarding home or property are stuck somehow, or they feel burdensome, or matters regarding family members or your living circumstances, they can feel like more burdensome, but they're slowly starting to change direction. Even though it might feel they're not moving anywhere, by the end of September, the beginning of October, things will start moving in matters concerning your private, personal life, home, property, and some heavy responsibilities and duties there that you might have to hold through September, that you have to, some parenting heavy responsibilities and duty that can feel quite, they can feel quite demanding at times, to be honest, because Saturn is just so strong when it's stationary, and it brings responsibilities, duties with parenting, with home, with family, with parents. And it's just like it's the last push of Saturn there. And after September, I think most of your issues, whatever you have with home, with family, with properties, all of those things, even with emotional, kind of feeling emotionally bereft of some sort, those or burdens or responsibilities coming from your private life, or resentments, family resentments even, they'll start untangling themselves and easing on you from October onwards. So thank you so much, Libra. Oh yeah, Mercury is in your sign, Libra. So wit is on your side. You're learning skills and knowledge in September. You're getting information. That's the right information at the right time. You're quite, Mercury rules the 9th house of luck, so it can even make you a bit lucky somehow, and actually gives you the gift of communication. So those issues that they might be stressing you, others, provoking you in some way, you can resolve them by a joke, for example, or by quickly saying the right thing at the right time, or using your, your ability to communicate correctly. You might be asked to use more of your skills during this month, but that's very great things. Your skills, your alert and clear mind will help you. Also helps with business activities as well, to be more organized, to manage things better, to get things done more efficiently. This is the nature of Mercury. And even to learn something new. Mercury ruling the 9th house brings you higher, expanded, for a few weeks, for a couple of weeks to 3 weeks, that you can take a course, a seminar, a webinar that you're very excited to learn about, that brings you a higher perspective of some sort, to open some opportunities for you. That's a good thing. And by the way, we're doing a webinar with Brian, so in September, in the middle, about how to speed read the birth chart. He's a fantastic teacher. He gets hundreds of people on his lectures and some webinars, and absolutely no refund so far. So do join us. I think it will be great to know how to read your birth chart quickly, and you can do it for yourself, for clients, what to how to put it together. Thank you.